Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kura Isagami, your resident Tinkerer and Medarotter, and this is the Medarot News Network, bringing you all the latest developments and happenings with our favorite pet-fighting robot series. Now, the day has officially come, and unfortunately gone, folks, as it has been Medarot's 24th anniversary on 11/28, approximately 2 days ago at time of recording, but there was a lot of news posted in the live stream that was over 24 hours, actually, that they announced previous to, going from the 27th to the 28th. There was a lot of news covered, a lot of reminiscing over how far Medarot's come, and even just talking about the features that were added to the game just over the 2 years that the game has been live. So I've chosen to take this week's episode essentially to break down and recap kind of the highlights that were covered in the Medarot Day 2021 stream. So I am going to try to cover this as chronologically as possible, as there was a lot of news to cover between the 5 different streams that they posted over the last couple days. Very likely for YouTube reasons, they won't let you stream past a certain time. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into a recap of Medarot Day 2021. Starting up with the gacha banners that have officially gone live as of Sunday, as of Saturday or Sunday, essentially. So they have been going on, they will go on through this coming week. The first of which is the gacha banners for the popularity poll. So all the top bots, the top 10 essentially that were voted in the popularity poll for top favorite and top strongest, will be available in one special banner. For those that also were unaware or have not had a chance to look into it, they also are bringing 2 separate banners with this one. The first of which, of course, is the special paid banner, which requires paid rubies in order to obtain. However, this time around, they've also been rather gracious in the sense that they also have opened a secondary banner that is open to the public and open to everybody. In addition, they also have given us 100 free summon tickets, or 10 free polls, essentially. That is a standard poll, plus everyone from the popularity banner. So this is a perfect opportunity to pick up on some really powerful and really handy parts, even if you don't get full sets, even just one part from the bots mentioned, just in even the screenshot alone, Blackmail, Metal Eater, Otoki Princess, God Emperor, Beast Chimera, wonderful bots, highly recommend, very strong skills no less, so this is your chance to pick up on some really good parts for sure. On top of that, we also have a rerun of GBV01 Shushu Pop with a kit of Field Control, Canceller, Metaphor Seal, Wheeled Legs, and the Pupa leg ability. A rerun of FJK0 Lila with Commander, Free Shot, Thunder Shot, Float Legs, and the Continuous P leg ability. But on top of that, one of the first major piece of news that they covered was the introduction of a third Medarot VTuber, and that is IDL03 Cheerful Bunny with a kit of Hypercrept, Charge Drain, Overcharge, Biped Legs, and the Mirage leg ability. Now, aside from being a brand new VTuber that we might be seeing more of in times come, in future videos as guest stars, or even on her own stuff, maybe even a debut video more or less sometime soon. She also is debuting a new skill to the game, which is Overcharge. Just to go over it briefly, it is a new skill added to the game that basically will grant Metaforce charge to the opposing target, but then, if the opposing target has a full Metaforce charge, 100%, it absolutely turns from a basic strike skill to a Rip and Tear sense, where it gains a ×5 damage bonus, and the attack converts into an AoE. So all 3 of these, including the popularity banner, as I mentioned, did go live on Sunday, and they will be sticking around through this coming week, essentially because they were released on a rather off schedule, essentially, in this case. So all of them fantastic bots all around. The popularity poll especially, I do highly recommend making good use of those tickets on more than anything else. In addition to that, we do also have this week's Fierce Battles that are upcoming. DOG0 Cyan Dog with Triple Rifle, Biped Legs, and the Clairvoyance leg ability. OWS0 Papilio Chevalier with Fight Boost, Discharge, Counter Guard, Float Legs, and the Mascot leg ability. SAM0 Samurai with Full Charge, Double Beam Sword, Biped Legs, and the Endurance leg ability. Now honestly, all 3 of the Fierce Battles we have this week are definitely worth the farming, as they all offer one fantastic skill one way or another. Cyan Dog for the conventional rifle, which is great in any particular facet or hole, or any particular hole on a team that needs a shooting mode. Papilio Chevalier for the Float Legs primarily, but in some cases Discharge can also be good for stalling Metaphor spammers. And then of course Samurai with Full Charge, and then Beam Sword, which can be a wickedly strong attack if you know how to use it right. But if I did have to crunch down one particular MVP of the week, I probably would crunch it down to Samurai, as Full Charge has a wonderful versatility when fully raised, especially for Metaforce reliant strategies. So on top of that, just to kind of recap what was covered officially in the Medarot streams, I'm going to kind of cover it day by day in this case and just kind of crunch the highlights, as there was a lot to cover, and a lot of it was mostly just watching them do something or the other. In this case, part one of the stream was the popularity poll results and the launch of the popularity poll banner, as well as the debut of Cheerful Buddy as a VTuber and an official model in-game. Part 2 essentially was hanging out with Shushu Pop and Leah as they played real-time PvP for a little while, and they also talked about the Shushu Pop and Leah banner reruns announced in S about the same time Cheerful Bunny got a hold of hers. I did tune into the stream just a little bit and watched. It did look like that Shushu Pop and Leah were having a lot of fun. Even if they didn't win every match, they really weren't doing it all serious, but it definitely was a great way to kind of see how exactly real-time PvP worked from an outsider's perspective. So definitely was great to see them and watch them again, since they have not poked their heads in the channel for quite some time. On top of the real-time PvP, I do want to mention another brief note, though, that has been brought to my attention. It has been mentioned in recent that there have been players, apparently, that have been playing real-time PvP and matching with players, but then right as the match starts, they also forfeit the match just so they can get the ruby dust. So while it is a decent way to get your rewards quick, at the same time, it is kind of being a little bit of a poor sport in this case. So if you guys are going to play real-time PvP, remember, we're going to get the rewards, the ruby dust either way. Win, loss, really doesn't matter all that much too, because we're all here to have fun. So if you're going to play real-time PvP, commit to the match, guys. We're all in this together, we're all here to have fun. Let's not be a spoil sport about it. Part 3 of the stream was essentially a interview with Tiyuga and other artists or developers of the game, or those related to Medarot. Tiyuga also did mention a lot of early concepts and concept art for Cross Messiah during the early development phase of Medarot S and Cross's design, and honestly, gonna say, even though I really do like Cross's final design, these do have some very unique assets to them that I really think that I honestly feel could be saved or even reserved for maybe another bot down the line, or maybe even a KKS or a KXK01 maybe sometime down the line. Who really knows? It's pretty much up to them at this point, and if anything does come out of it, I will be sure to make note of it and maybe even tie into these if it does indeed. But always great to see Tiyuga once again, the fantastic artist that he is on the Medarot content. So always wonderful to see that, and some fantastic art was dropped too. Here I've only dropped just a couple pieces of it, so it honestly really wasn't fair to put 1 or 2 pieces when he had so much wonderful art, but of course, space reasons only limited 1 or 2. Part 4 was essentially hanging out with the VTubers themselves. The first part of Part 4 of the stream was essentially chatting and art with Leah Lila, so really nice to see there. Very cute style that Leah had. Q&A in the second part with Shushu Pop. We got to hang out and talk to her, and she got to answer submitted questions from the live stream and even submitted beforehand. And then the last segment of Part 4 was basically introducing Cheerful Bunny to the other 2 girls, and maybe just giving them a chance to talk and kind of get to know each other, kind of learn about how the 3 will behave from here forward and learn about that dynamic. In addition, someone also did mention here, as mentioned by the screenshot, that Shushu Pop did attempt to try to communicate with the Western fans by use of English, so that was definitely a great step as kind of a way to recognize the Western fans in this case, which is fantastic, honestly. And sometimes in the stream, they did mention the possibility of maybe a localized game sometime in the future, or maybe a new Medarot game in general, but they did hint and tease that if we were to hear anything about that, we would have to wait until the 25th anniversary, so next year, of course. So just a little bit more waiting in that sense, unfortunately, but if that day does come, or even sooner, you can count on the fact I, for a fact, will indeed report on it. Part 5 of the stream was essentially just a recap of all the features that were added to Medarot S through its 2 years. These include the paint chips, meta change, the PvP, and then very recently the real-time PvP, talking about the 1.5 year, the 1 year anniversaries, the power-up chips, and so on and so forth. But they did also recap as well on previous events and collab events, no less, too. So even just mentioned through the collabs here is mentioned, Medarot's made a lot of friends in some rather high places across the internet and across the fandoms. Starting with the Ghost in the Shell collab, which was the very first collaboration Medarot did a couple of years back with the Netflix version, SAC 2045. Right after that, April Fools, they released the Digimon collab, which was honestly a fantastic surprise, no less, as the year prior, they only teased that as just fan art work done between the 2 artists, essentially, as just a fun thing with nothing more to it. So it was a fantastic surprise to wake up April Fools that morning and find out that the collab indeed was truly legit. After that collab, a couple months later, we got the collaboration with the Omega Sisters, the VTubers, which also introduced Shushu Pop as the first Medarot VTuber, kind of picking up from their tools of the trade, and as well as getting to see the Omega Sisters themselves do some Medarot content on their own channel, which they do every here and there too. I have Tokdai head in there every once in a while, and they still do touch on the Medarot stuff every here and there as well, so great to see them keep up to date with it too. After that, a couple months later, we got the Rockman EXE collab with Rocktrans, Forte, and Heartroll. So always another wonderful collaboration with some very popular friends in the Capcom series, especially with a well-loved Mega Man series like Battle Network. And then fairly recently, just a couple months ago, was the Mashin Hero Wataru collab with brand new bots to kind of commemorate the event and relaunch of the reboot, I believe. And then, of course, the custom skins for Ikki and Kuji in this case. However, it does touch again. We have that Medarot has made some very impressive friends. The one collab that I have not touched on in previous videos that has been ongoing is the Master of Epic collab that is currently a Japanese-only game, but there have been a couple other collabs mixed here and there between them. So, wonderful friends made. It's been a fantastic 2 years of Medarot since Medarot S's launch, and a wonderful 24 years that we've had of our favorite pet fighting robot series. However, as if that wasn't enough, that's not all. At the end of the 5th part of the stream, they announced another rather interesting and huge piece of news that'll be starting at the beginning of December and go through to roughly to the end of the first week of New Year's. And that wonderful announcement was yet another collab with Ultraman, featuring 2 brand new bots coming to the game, ULT-0 Ultrasium, with a kit of Shoot FC, Hyper Beam, Rifle, Float Legs, and the Holy Grace leg ability. And then on top of that, ULT-01 Seven Slugger, with a kit of Hide Blow, Double Assassin, Biped Legs, and the Rush ability. Now, you might wonder what Shoot FC and Hide Blow are, but they are yet two more brand new skills to the game being made in addition to the overcharge that we're getting with Cheerful Bunny. Kind of going over them briefly, Shoot FC is essentially full charge plus shoot boost at the same time in one buff, but then also applies melt status to self. So upon use, you will essentially get a massive boost to the shooting capability of the equipped set, but you will also lose some HP over time after its use. Hide Blow is a unique melee-based skill that if you attack an opponent from behind while they're in their cooldown phase, according to the flavor text, you gain 1 shield stack, which likely will help negate or reduce a very large chunk of damage on that next hit. Not 100% sure how it will work, as we've yet to see gameplay officially on how Hide Blow or Shoot FC work, but very excited to see how well those two stack up in current meta, as well as the addition of the Ultraman collaboration just in general on top of that. As for the announcement itself, they will be introducing a collaboration dungeon, of course, but you will also be able to participate for the following rewards, which are the Ranger Medal, a commemorative profile banner to use for your card background. They also did announce at the same time, instead of us getting a 3rd bot for this collaboration, we're getting not 1, but 2 announcer voices. One for Ultrasium and the other for Seven Slugger. So very excited to see how those 2 will stack up, as well as hearing the voices for them. Just to mention the event itself briefly, it is ticket-based. So unlike previous events where they are milestone-based, where pure sets are encouraged for the higher multiplier, for this one, mixed parts instead are encouraged. So in this case, you don't absolutely need the whole set of the bot on a particular build in order to get the full bonus, but instead, if you get the full set, spread the parts out to maximize your bonus. On top of that, the bonus will only stack the highest bonus there. So if you, for instance, get Ultrasium in this case for the first wave of the event, spread his parts evenly, because everyone then will get a +5 from parts on top of that. Much like the Mashin Hero Wataru collab on top of that, they did mention that the rewards will be spread through the duration of the event. So unlike in previous ones, where we can essentially farm the whole event one and done and then just kind of call it a day, they kind of learned from that with the Mashin Hero Wataru collab and learned to kind of spread the events to kind of help engage and force more participation in the event, which I do openly welcome, honestly. They did also announce with the collaboration we will be having special skins available for Cross Messiah, Deer Stage, and Metal Eater, in tandem with the release of the skins feature in-game that was announced last week and roughly the week before teased. On top of that, in addition to the skins for Deer Stage and Metal Eater, we will be seeing the 2 of them also make reruns as gacha banners and pullable models. For IDL-01 Deer Stage, with Full Charge, Bug, Freeze, and the Rush ability, her banner will go live on 12/2 and close on 12/16. So roughly about a week a week and a half from there, roughly, you'll have a chance to go after Deer Stage. So roughly at the start of this week, she'll go live. And then ALI-03 Metal Eater with Deathlock, Ghost Shot, and the Auto Repair like ability, whom will be going live on 12/9 to 12/23. So essentially the week after this, coming week, Metal Eater will go live and stick around for roughly another week and a half, roughly, as another model to pull, and the skins available for the 3 of them. They also announced paid skins for Ultrasium and 7 Slugger. Approximately each paid skin is about $30 US, approximately, with bonuses of extra rubies and a couple other variants. So I'd say the skins in this case may not be super necessary, but if you're someone who is a very aesthetically set kind of guy or person that does like to make sure that the parts look nice, or maybe especially if you are a follower of the Ultraman series, these also might be of interest to you. On top of all that was announced, there was a lot of stuff covered this week, absolutely. Very excited for the month of December, and very, very excited for the future of Medarot from here forward. That was announced from the 24th anniversary live stream. But on top of that, just more on a home front with PRB and the Medarot News Network in general, we are still continually looking for translators for the Medarot 3 and the Medarot Reloaded translation projects. So if you have any knowledge of coding, cleaning, or Japanese with some time on your hands, we are more than appreciative of any kind of effort or contribution that you'd be willing to offer. And if you do have any questions once you join in or ask, we are more than happy to get you in touch with the right people to kind of get you up to speed on everything going on. Right now, progress towards the Medarot 3 has been kind of stalling at the moment, so not a whole lot of progress has been made, but as mentioned in previous videos, there has been a lot of code that needs to be translated. So if you do have some time on your hands and would love to see these projects completed so we can work on even more projects, say Medarot 4, Medarot 5, Navi, and so on and so forth, we'd love to have that extra help so we can indeed work on those projects so we can enjoy those older games with the rest of the JP community across the globe. But aside from all that, I believe that covers just about a recap of the Medarot Day 2021 livestream. So thanks again for stopping by, folks. It's always good to have you. If you want to know more, you can follow us below on the Medarot News Network page or the Metabots Forever communities on Facebook. You can also follow us on Discord and join the fun at the link provided and in the comments below. You can also reach out to me personally on Twitter at Isagamikura. So if you have any particular questions, comments, feedback, or anything in general that you'd like to ask about with the videos or with battle mechanics or whatever the case, more than happy to get you in touch with the right people if I can't personally answer the question. Do also give these fine people a follow on Twitter, TunaCH and Jun Hakase, both wonderful friends of mine on Twitter that I have commissioned from more than once, a number of times. Fantastic art, awesome friends of mine, highly recommend their art. So if you are looking for some art of your particular character, OC, or model, definitely give them a shout, and they definitely will not disappoint. However, I do have one last gift for you guys that I've been cooking up for quite some time. I have been making mention of some other projects I've been working on through previous videos that have been kind of put on the back burner as development's been going on, but now I'm really, really excited as now I can finally unveil a big project I've been working on over the past several months, the last couple of weeks especially in this case, that concern the overall future of my channel and how I go about making these videos. So, as stated, this is still not all in this special anniversary video of Medarot's 24th anniversary and the future of this channel. There is a complete channel overhaul coming very soon to the Medarot News Network. I'm currently working on a new thumbnail template for my videos, so no more cluttered thumbnails. I have gotten a number of complaints about this every here and there, so working on cleaning that up. What you see here is kind of a work in progress, kind of like an early stage of what I'm going for. So do stay tuned for that as well once that update does go live. So really excited on getting that cleaned up and worked on for here forward, so my videos can be a little more easily seen and not as cluttered or messy looking in this case. On top of that, I do have a presentation overhaul coming, so I am going to be very largely revamping and redoing a little bit of how I go over my presentation videos. So maybe just a little more engaging in this case, maybe not as so cut and paste, a little more details added where I can, so with maybe extra screens or more screenshots of what I'm trying to explain in this case. Some minor recording changes as well for quality of life and clarity, as my mic has been acting kind of funky over the last few videos, so playing around with my sound settings on that and quality of life so that makes the recording a little easier on my part. However, last but not least, I have one big surprise for you, the big thing that I'm excited for, coming on 12/5. I'll be setting up a special video release to kind of showcase the new event, the new update that'll be coming alive to my channel, and maybe future updates to the channel once that update does go live. But the channel changes, and the overall, as mentioned here, will go live on 12/7. So the first week, the first Tuesday essentially of December, all these updates will be going live, and you'll see a much cleaner, better prepared channel that is much more engaging, a little more exciting and easier to see. So it's not a cut and dry PNG tuber and presentation anymore. But aside from all of that, thanks again for stopping by, folks. It's always happy to have you all in for a visit. Until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.